There we go.
The 7-2 Green Bay Packers play the role of road team this week. The 6-3 Indianapolis Colts, the home squad, and what a matchup this one will be, with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams having to try and see what they can do against Indy's pass D, which might be the hardest in the league to move the ball against. Indy is coming off a game where they took a QB with a passer rating of 110 coming into the game and held him to a rating under 85. R.Tannehill's yards per attempt was well over 7.5, but against the Colts, a measly 5.4, Tannehill finishing with just 147 passing yards.
This one's broken up.
Rodgers this past week, for the most part, what you'd expect him to do against Jacksonville, rating over 100, couple of scores, over 300 passing yards.
For a first down.
Adams was again his top target, and once again, he found the paint.
Touchdown, Davante Adams.
But teams can't sleep on MVS anymore. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is starting to look like that other guy Rodgers may be able to trust.
Catch is made. That's a Packer touchdown.
But all that was against the Jaguars, whose passing D ranks at the bottom of the league, aka on the opposite end of the spectrum compared to the Colts.
It's picked off by the Colts. How about that?
Indy is at or near the top of every key passing metric: completion percentage against, yards per attempt allowed, passing yards per game allowed, rating allowed, and interceptions. And look to see how often Xavier Rhodes travels with Adams. Rhodes has shined this season with the Colts, his rating allowed when targeted under 60 for the year. Safe to say, Indianapolis' secondary will be a major test for Rodgers, because the thing is, as fuego as he's been feasting on some less than stellar defenses.
Touchdown.
Rodgers' opponents so far: Vikings twice, Lions, Saints, Falcons, Texans, Jaguars, all of them ranked between 24th and 32nd in passer rating allowed.
As Rodgers throws, it's Adams, and will take it in.
Now, he did beat up on the 49ers, who are ranked 11th in rating allowed.
There he is, Valdez-Scantling for the touchdown.
But some will argue that by the time Rodgers faced them, injuries had taken too much of a toll on their D. And A-Rod's worst game versus Tampa Bay, who are 9th in rating allowed.
Intercepted back the other way, touchdown.
But fair is fair. Prior to Tannehill, the Colts faced the following QBs: Gardner Minshew, Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson. Not one of them with a rating over 100 for the year.
Intercepted on the play.
That's what I'm talking about. Woo!
So how about when the Colts have the ball? Phillip Rivers silenced some critics with a nice game against the Titans.
Pass caught, Hines, touchdown.
Rivers has been a little up and down in his first 9 games, though. His season numbers and the Colts' passing offense built around a high completion percentage and a lot of yards after the catch.
Rivers throws, passes, caught.
Indy's run game, which hasn't seen a lot of running to it, may now rest in the hands of Nyheim Hines, who had his first game with 10 or more touches and made the most of them.
Hines in for the touchdown.
Maybe he gets turned to a little more often this week, as the Packers have allowed over 4.5 a run for the year, giving up over 100 yards to James Robinson last week on 4.7 a carry.
James Robinson with a first down.
So who has the edge? The team with the elite offense but a middle of the pack D, or the elite defense with the middle of the pack O? Lots of ins and outs to consider in this one, a lot of what have yous. Break them all down with your predictions, all of which go in the comments section. You can compare them to the predictions our panel made, which I hear knocking on the door right now.
Going deep. And the